Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast, The Spiritual Relationship. My name is Ken Hanneman, and this is my wife, Dr. Anno here. Today's topic is finding time and energy for self care. Self care. This is something that we think we're doing enough of, but yet we have a lot of complaints about not having enough time for myself. Self care is very deep because like every human being, we have an emotional need, we have physical needs, and we're when you try to when you're expecting other people to fulfill those needs, you're coming up short. People are feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling like they can't even fulfill their obligation, so nobody have any time to help you or to be on your side. My experience is that meditation is the primary way of taking care of yourself, because meditation is about looking within, trying to know yourself, trying to feel exactly what I'm feeling about the world, about others, about my role. So nobody's really listening to you. Nobody has a time. And even if you go to a pastor, religious leader, or somebody like that, they can probably help you to some extent. But you need to spend time knowing yourself and making time for yourself. I don't know if you want to
Yeah, I
give me
had a
some.
I had a thought of I don't know if you have heard of BK Shivani, Sister Shivani. She's another Brahma Kumari like us, but she's very famous. She speaks all over the world and she talks about thoughts and she's a very large following and she's really great. If you ever want to check her on YouTube, she's fantastic. Shivani is her name. Anyway, one thing that she said one time really struck me. And because she talks about thoughts all the time, like what's going on in the mind. And she said, you really only listen to yourself. It's like, wow, is that true? And if you think about it, it really is true because anybody can say anything to you, but it's what you say to yourself that you start following. So think about it. I'll give you an example. So let's say I am in what we've been calling a toxic relationship. And what do we mean by toxic relationship? It's a relationship in which, for whatever reason, there's a blockage and there's no free flow of spontaneous sharings and givings and takings. For whatever reason, it's blocked and there's pain there and there's negativity there. So we call that toxic. There's
Mhm.
no free flow of that, of normal stuff. So let's say I'm in a toxic relationship and I keep fighting, and then something inside keeps saying, this is not right. I need to maybe stop this relationship, or I don't need this friendship. Let's say it's a friendship. Let's say it's a toxic friendship. And it's like, why should I put up with this and whatever? But then something inside says to me, well, you don't want to hurt their feeling, let's say.
Yeah.
So who am I listening to? Aren't I listening to myself? I mean, that's just one example, but I'm going to assert right now that we're only listening to ourselves. I think Shivani is 100% correct. You are only listening to yourself. So wouldn't it be a good idea to find out what's going on in there? Wouldn't it be a good idea to find out what's going on in yourself? It's interesting that we're talking about self care. Most of the time that we talk about self care, we talk about care of the body, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we said here, finding time for self care. Right now, I'm going to call meditation self care.
Yes,
That's
it
it.
is. Yeah.
So when we say self care, we're talking about meditation because if I don't know what I'm thinking, or if I don't know what I'm really feeling, or what thoughts are driving my decisions, then how can I take care of myself? I have no idea what's going on inside. In the beginning, when we start meditation, it can be very scary because there's all kinds of reasons to not pay attention to your mind.
Right.
We have a million and one things that we could be doing, like scrolling on the phone or talking to people or dealing with the body or watching TV or whatever. There's all different things that we could be doing besides paying attention to what's going on in my mind. So today we're going to share a little bit about meditation and how meditation can be integrated into your life as a self care practice. So, finding time for self care would mean creating a little bit of an adjustment to integrate this spiritual practice into your life. Because sometimes I say in class, we take care of our clothes, we wash our clothes, we pay our bills, we take care of our kids, we take care of everybody, but we don't take care of our mind. I don't take care of my mind and I don't take care of my heart. And I think that that contributes to these kind of stuck situations, whether I'm at work and I feel stuck, or I'm with my body situation and I feel stuck, or with relationships and I feel stuck and I feel unhappy. I think the access to transformation, I know it is, that's my experience. The access to transformation is here. It's in me. But how do I access that? Well, meditation. So, do you want to add something? And then we could talk about the routine, like how to get it
Right.
into your life.
Yeah. When I started meditation, it was like a religious practice to me. And like I'm thinking that if I can repeat something over and over, like a mantra, that somehow God will bless me and that I will get revelation or something. It didn't happen. Then later on, I came into Raj Yoga and they're talking about the self, the soul, and about being able to, like, how it works, how you have your subconscious or what we might call sanskaras, a lot of memories there, a lot of old habits, a lot of personality traits. And these things are spitting up a lot of thoughts into your conscious mind. And the more negativity you have in there, or, misgivings or bad memories or desires unfulfilled, it is bringing up a lot of thoughts in your conscious mind. And you see it showing up in your dreams and all of that. So the conscious mind uh, had to be changed. And with meditation, gradually, in the meditation, we're learning you are a peaceful soul. I am peaceful. I am pure. Or I am powerful. I have wisdom. When I look at all those words, I said, none of that is really me. But anyhow, that's the
But
practice.
that's how it starts,
That's
right? You have
how
to
it
start
starts.
somewhere.
Yeah. And then gradually, then I realized what happened. If I don't see myself as separate from my thought and all the past personality traits or anything, if I don't see myself as being different from that and giving myself a little bit of time, this is really self care. I'm beginning to redefine myself. The moment I manage that, I don't have to conquer it totally. I just have to get a little space. And then I'm realizing some of these thoughts are really toxic.
And by the way, you also realize I created them.
Yeah,
Like it's my
right.
responsibility. And
Yeah.
this is where we get into the karma thing too. You want to take care of yourself. Just one thing I'll interject. One of the realizations I had about karma, because I was more of take care of everybody else and don't take care of myself, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us are like that.
Yeah.
Like you're always focused on others, but I don't want to take care of myself because I'm just so generous and I'm going to take care of everybody else. In the meantime, I'm getting sick, I'm negative, all this stuff. So, one of the things I realized when I started meditating is that I actually am the creator of all of this stuff in my mind. And I tell you something, at first, that realization is a bit of an ouchie. Like I call it an ouchie, like, oops, that is true. Like it's not so good and it doesn't make me feel so good. It doesn't make me look good, but it's the truth. I did create all those things. But the good news about it is if I can face it now, why would I avoid it? If I know that I created it and I have the heart of trying to change it for my betterment and well being, then why do I need to be afraid of it? You don't need to be afraid of it anymore. You can actually face your mind. So can I go into it now?
Yes, yes.
So what we do is morning meditation. So we recommend morning meditation and we get up very early between 3 and 5 in the morning to meditate. Now, we're not recommending that you get up between 3 and 5 in the morning unless you already do. Some people already get up very early. If you get up very early, great, because that's the best time to meditate. Why? Everybody else is asleep. And if you notice, it's kind of hard to get very active at that time of the day.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
hard. Like you really have to force yourself to get active at 3 in the morning. Everything is so quiet. So, what we recommend is if you get up, let's say you get up at 6 a.m., set your alarm for 5:30. Why do I want to do that? Every habit I have, not only physical habits like getting up, but also mental habits and emotional habits, they all start at the same time when the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
And you can check that that's true.
Yeah.
You can check tomorrow morning. Everybody listen now. Tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
check, watch yourself. Like Ken was saying, get some observing a little bit, watch yourself and see, am I not getting up the same way, moving the same limbs, moving the same way, breathing the same way, saying the same thoughts, and marching to the bathroom in the exact same way
Yeah.
every single day?
Yeah. They say if you compare, say in a week, and it's something, nothing major happens. You have to go to work, take care of the
Mhm.
kid, whatever. You find, I think it's, I don't know the actual number, like almost 60% of the things you thought about yesterday, you're thinking
It's the
about
same
today.
thing.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means that you have a very strong habit that starts at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to start our day 30 minutes earlier to give ourselves a window of time before that force of all that habit comes in to try to sit and meditate. So get up, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, and then sit down. Then put on a video, a meditation in the description below. There's the Release Your Wings meditations,
Yeah.
and we highly recommend those even not just for beginners, but for everybody. They're like between 5 and 10 minutes. They're very short, but they're great. Sit there and watch that 15, 20 minutes. Sit there. Now, I say this all the time, but if you sit there and your mind is going crazy, it's okay because, of course, it's going to be going crazy. We never have been paying attention to it before. It's a free for all in there, right? So I sit down and my mind goes crazy. And one thought that I might have is that meditation isn't for me. And I'm going to speak for us both and say, if that thought comes up, remember our faces that's saying it's okay. If you sit there for 15 and 20 minutes, you won. Of course, you're going to have thoughts. Of course, you're not going to be able to concentrate. It's going to take time. You don't get the benefit from meditation after one meditation.
Right.
You get the benefit of regular practice.
But the benefit you get, even if the mind is doing its own thing, the benefit you get is that you're actually looking at it and you're not getting off of your seat. So usually, as soon as you get a thought, you run and jump and
And
you
you go
think.
off to do something else.
But now in meditation, you're actually looking at it without moving. So then you're realizing, oh, it's telling me that I have to go to the supermarket, or I have a list of things, or I have to remember to do this or that or whatever. No, I'm 30 minutes before my usual waking up time, and I am not going to do any of those things right now.
But
So,
you see it,
yeah.
and then you say, "You know what? I see you, and now we're gonna do this."
So what you're actually doing, you're not allowing the mind, the thoughts to run the show anymore. There is another part of you, and that is the analytic aspect of your intellect, that you're able to tell the thoughts that it's going to be different from that.
Right.
And you're choosing what time to get up and go do something.
And you're not fighting the thoughts anymore. You're not fighting, you're not running. They're there.
Right.
You know they're there. We're telling you they're gonna be there.
Right.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
When you start to do that to thought, after a while, thoughts start to get a little weaker,
That's right.
meaning they don't have the same emotional power or strength or to control you and run your life. Because the the good part about, let's say for instance, when you practice something over and over, you get so good at it, right? So in your job and skills
Yes.
and whatever, yeah, you need that because you want to go on and you want to be able to do things without thinking naturally. But when there's a lot of negative thoughts of worrying or feeling bad about yourself, or whether you feel guilt about, oh, people expecting this and I can't fulfill that, you feel bad about it and all of that. No, you don't want those thoughts because you are now split. You're
Right.
saying I can't do this because I'm not feeling well or whatever it is, or I have my own responsibility, rather than to sort of like exhaust yourself
Right.
trying to run around fulfilling everybody's need. No, so both ways. You don't do it and you feel bad, or you do it and you still feel
You
bad.
still feel bad. So let's give like a in real time kind of scenario of what it could be like and what you could say in a moment. So I'm sitting down for meditation and I'm taking the advice and I'm sitting down, I'm putting on a video, and what happens in that moment? I'm paying attention to the video, and all of a sudden the mind goes, and my attention goes to the what the mind is saying. The video is still playing, but I'm not listening to it because I'm now listening to the talking in the mind. I'm listening to this. So, what's going to happen is at some point, you're going to realize that you're supposed to be watching the video and not paying attention to the thoughts. At that moment, I'm going to say that's the moment of self care. Right there is the moment of self care, like Ken was describing. That moment when you realize, you say, you know what? I see the thoughts. I know I'm here to take care of myself, and I'm going to direct my mind to think this and pay attention to this. What is this? I'm a soul. I'm peaceful. I'm benevolent. I am essentially good. I am loving. I am wise. I am pure. All those thoughts, and to keep bringing my attention back. No judgment, no force. Just acknowledge, I see you. We're going to be here because I'm telling you what's going to happen is you're going to lose time thinking about those thoughts. You're going to lose time. Don't judge yourself for that either. If you spent the whole time, let's say say it's 15 minutes and you spent 14 minutes and 50 seconds lost in the thoughts, and you only spend 10 seconds total paying attention to what you're supposed to be paying attention to, that 10 seconds is your self care hope to change it. Take it, try it, have courage. The thoughts cannot really dominate you. It's just because we've allowed it for so long that we feel a little afraid, a little scared, a little unsure. What better thoughts could you be thinking than I'm a peaceful soul? What better thought
Yeah.
could you think of, really?
Think think of thoughts about yourself. Look at, don't be ashamed. Don't feel like it's sacrilege or anything like that. That I am a child
Of
of
God.
I
I'm a
God
child
of
of
I.
God, or
I
I'm
am
a
special.
yeah.
I am unique. I have something to offer to the world. I have good feelings for the world. I have a lot of potential within me. No matter what the world says,
Or no matter what this one is
no matter,
saying.
this voice in your head says,
Yep.
because your voice is only repeating what the TV or what the news or what your neighbor or what God, whatever it is.
And
You
now you
yeah,
picked it up and roll it
right.
on the tape, right?
The thing about the mind is that you have an intellect that could tell you that these thoughts are not helpful or good or even true. They're not even true. It's something that I heard. It's something that I see other people doing.
Now, can we say that even if we're talking about the part like when you first start where it's difficult, but it doesn't take long to start seeing progress.
Right.
Okay. So just so you feel hope, because nobody wants to keep doing something that they don't feel successful in, right? So, my experience, maybe we can close with this. I'll share my experience of meditation. You could share your experience. My experience is that I have a very active tendency. My tendency is to be more active in the mind, okay? That's why I feel so compelled to share about that because I don't want you all to feel like you can't meditate if your mind is active. You certainly can and you need to because you need to start telling yourself something different. So, my experience was even though the mind was active, within 2 weeks of doing this practice that we're talking about right now, anger had completely left within 2 weeks, and that's not having blissful meditation experiences. The fact that I was sitting down every day doing it after 2 weeks, I had a noticeable result.
Yeah.
So I want to say that the act of self-care, the act of sitting for meditation is in itself going to help you, and you will see a result in a short period of time. I want to say I want to promise it, but that's my experience. So what's your
Yeah.
experience with meditation?
Well, I've been doing it
A
for
long
many,
time.
many
Yeah.
years. And you know, one of the greatest fear that I had overcome was I felt bad about thinking about myself. And I felt like I was being a bad person or that it is not right not to think of other people.
Like selfish or whatever.
But I pushed through that and and this is an internal process. So it's not like you're changing anything on the outside physically, but internally I begin to realize, wow, the more I am peaceful inside, the more the mind is calm. It became very positive. And the next thing you know, the more I love myself, I was able to open my heart to everyone. So, like I said, this is happening inside in your mental space, where everyone, you might have a thought coming up about someone, somebody appears in memory, in your conscious mind, and right away, like you have your heart good feeling towards, no matter what, it might be a it might be a relationship close, or it could be a stranger, it could be what, anyone, and it could be somebody you never seen in different parts of the world. We do have like certain stereotypical thinking about people all over the world, right? They're different from us, and gradually, even the difference change. So why I'm saying that is that the more I send out something, what comes back is an inner growth, a feeling of like there's an expansion of my consciousness. There's a feeling of connection. And it's like almost you realize love or happiness or peace first benefit me, and then it goes.
I was going to say,
That's
it's
it.
like your own self respect starts to grow in a real way, not in an externally dependent way like before, right? Like everything was dependent on what happened on the outside. But I feel like, and maybe we can wrap this up by saying this is like self care. Maybe the best result of meditation and self care is that my self respect comes in, my self respect grows back.
Yeah, self esteem. Right.
Yeah. And I think that impacts everything,
And
my own
actually,
self and everybody
yeah,
else.
that's where happiness comes from, actually.
That could,
That's, yeah, it doesn't
good.
come from outside. It really comes from inside, how you feel about yourself. And you have the capacity to transform and become someone that you respect.
And
So,
you can be proud of.
yeah.
Wonderful. All right. So I hope that gave you some ideas and we will I can see you next time. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.